A call from the other side of the world. I had a really great dad. It was just the three of us, me, mom, and dad. He worked as a driver, and so that we did not need anything, he took part-time jobs. Sometimes he did not sleep for 2 days. My mom asked him to rest because he was so tired. But my dad only waved away and said that he was not tired. The main thing was that we had everything in abundance. And on that fateful July day, he went to work as usual. That day didn't bode well for anything. Mom was cleaning and I was helping her. Suddenly the phone rings. Mom picked up the phone and put it to her ear, and after a few seconds her face became very anxious and sad. I asked who it was calling. Mom said that Dad called and said that he loved us very much and would always love us, and hung up the phone. A minute later there was a knock on the door. Mom opened the door and on the threshold stood Uncle Kolya, Dad's colleague at work. His face was very sad. He said, "You hold on, Sveta, Zhenka is gone. 2 hours ago he fell asleep at the wheel, drove into a ditch and died." Mom said, "Only one thing I know, he just called me." Dad's co-worker was perplexed. It was a tragedy for us. The funeral was very difficult. The phone call thing was still unclear to us. How could he call if he died 2 hours before the call? 5 years later I got married. After the marriage we came to our apartment. The table was already set. Everyone was congratulating us, shouting bitterly. Suddenly the phone rings. My mom comes over, picks up the phone. And I see how her face began to shine with a smile. I go up to her and ask who called. Mom said, "Daddy," shining with happiness. He said that he loved us very much, wished you happiness, and said that I would meet him soon. A week later I came to visit my mother. I opened the door with my key, called out to her, but no one answered. And when I went to her room, she was lying on the bed, in her hand holding the phone receiver, and on her face was a frozen smile. She was dead. Second story. A traveling companion from the other side of the world. I want to tell you a rather strange story that happened to me this summer. I went to my sister's village for her birthday. I had to go when it got dark because I was delayed at work. I was driving along a country road. It was dark. Suddenly I see a man voting. I slowed down. He got in. I asked him where he was going. He said it's not far to the fork. We drove off. He introduced himself as Victor. We talked about nothing. There was a fork in the road. I stopped. Victor thanked me and disappeared into the darkness. I got out too to stretch my legs and have a smoke. My cigarette fell out of my mouth when I saw a roadside monument a meter away. From its picture, the same Victor was looking at me.